This is Creator Showcase, and I'm Amy Stone. I'm here with Samantha Foote of Every Brain is Different. In each episode of Creator Showcase, I speak with a woman who is a creator. She is making a podcast, a YouTube channel, maybe it's a newsletter or something else. Here at Creator Showcase, what we're doing is talking about what they create. What is it? And who is it for? So if you are a creator looking for visibility, or if you're in the audience looking for something new to listen or watch, you're in the right spot. Samantha, I'm so happy you're here. Tell me about the name of your show.
Yes. So it's Every Brain is Different. And I think on like the streaming platforms, it's autistic and ADHD parenting strategies, but that's just for SEO purposes. Every Brain is Different came about because I had a client whose mom described autism as your brain is different. And she said, but it's okay because every brain is different. If you're autistic, ADHD, neurotypical, whatever, everyone's brain is different and your brain is just more like autism. And so I love that. And it's just a way to celebrate every brain instead of being like, well, you're in this category and you're in this category. It's just a way to celebrate everyone's brain.
And I love that you've named the show so that it's easier to find. Take a quick second and share with us what formats you deliver this show in: audio, video, anything.
Yeah, it's in audio on all the streaming platforms like, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, all those different things. And then it's on YouTube. Full episodes and shorts are on YouTube.
I love it. I love it. All right. So very good. So you talked a little bit about what you do and clients. Tell us what the show is about. Every brain is different.
It's all about parenting a child with autism or ADHD mostly. It's other neurodivergent things too, like OCD, bipolar disorder, whatever. But it's mostly focusing on parenting strategies, positive parenting strategies. So, what can you do instead of punishment? And then understanding neurodivergence. What does it mean to be autistic or have ADHD? And then self care for parents. So, how can parents take care of themselves so they can better take care of their kids?
It's a beautiful, beautiful message. Is there a particular audience that you think would benefit from hearing this show? How do you describe your audience?
I think that it's best for parents, obviously, that are raising neurodivergent kids, but then also for people who are around neurodivergent kids, so grandparents or aunts and uncles or teachers, just to better understand what the kid might be going through. And we tend to talk more to people who are at the beginning of the journey, so people who are just getting diagnosed. But I think it's good for people who have a kid who's been diagnosed for a while just to create community because you always need that community, even if you have a kid that's like 18 and they're diagnosed, you still need community, even though you've been in it for a while. But I would say we typically talk more to parents like with kids in the 3 to 12 range. That's what people have told me helps them the most.
That is an amazing piece of information. This is where I'm resisting my urge to dive into that portion of the conversation because this show is about your show. But I think there's a lot that you said there that's really important. So, is there a specific geography or community or place in the world that this show is targeted towards, or is it anybody who matches this criteria anywhere on the globe?
Yeah, we have listeners from all around the globe. I think we got to like number 2 in the charts in Israel and other places. Like I'm in Idaho, so it's definitely not where I live. So I think it helps people all around the globe. We definitely have more resources for people in Idaho because I'm in Idaho. I know what's going on here better than other places, but we give information that can be used for people around the globe.
And you mentioned community, and I will just veer off my topic. That's what's amazing about being alive today is that we can connect with people for resources and information all the way around the globe. I love that you're doing this. All right, very good. So let's talk a little bit about the origin story behind the show. What was the reason you decided to create this show?
I loved listening to podcasts, and I wanted to have a podcast for the last probably 10 years. And I just had that perfection thing where I was like, no, I don't know enough about it. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to have it perfect. So I never started the show until I think it was 2021. And then I revamped the show later, but I started it because I saw that parents were getting their kids diagnosed and they had no idea what to do after the diagnosis. So when your kid gets diagnosed, sometimes like when my kid got diagnosed, my oldest got diagnosed, the the doctor didn't give me any resources except that there was a genetic study that they were doing that we could participate in if we wanted to. And then they gave me like this pamphlet from Autism Speaks. And so I wanted a place where people could go where they wouldn't need money or other resources to just get information that they needed to know about what their kid could be going through or how to parent their kid.
And the format of the show as you present it, is it all you all the time and your thoughts, or do you bring other people on to talk about their experiences and their expertise?
I do have a co-host. Her name is Lauren. She does not have any kids, but she's worked in the field for probably almost 20 years. And she has a brother that has disabilities. And so she comes from it from that angle. And then we do have guests on our show. It started out as just a guest show where we'd have guests every episode, but now we're doing more individual episodes. And then we have a guest like once a month or so.
Lovely, lovely. Do you have an idea from what you know about the industry and the marketplace and the other shows that are out there? What makes Every Brain is Different unique or different in the marketplace?
It is where Lauren and I come from. I think it's our perspective. I was in the field before I became a mom. And so I have three kids with disabilities. They all have autism, they all have ADHD and other things. And so I had the experience of being a music therapist and an ABA therapist before they were born. And then I also had the experience of raising neurodivergent kids. And then I'm neurodivergent myself. And so I think all three of those things combined offers a unique perspective on the topic that we're discussing.
I would agree. Is there either a favorite moment from the show that has already happened in the past or an upcoming episode that's coming out that you are very excited about that you'd like to share from the show?
We interviewed Dr. Temple Grandin, and that was the highlight, I think, of my life. In my business, like in my professional world, I admire her so much and look up to her for all the amazing things that she's done in this field. And my friend just said, make a list of 100 people that you want to interview. And she was at the top. And I just asked her if she would be on the show, and she said yes. And so that taught me just ask and see what happens. And
Um,
her interview was really awesome. Yeah, loved it.
Very good. Is there now, how long have you been doing the show? I think you said since 2021, right?
Yeah.
2021. So you've been doing the show for a couple of years. It's grown and changed as you've done it, as I think all shows do. Is there a moment where you can remember as you were creating the show that you began to feel like the concept was catching on or working?
Yes, I've had feedback from people listening to the show. They're like, "Oh, this episode helped me so much. I loved, what you said in this episode, or this helped me like connect with my kid." And it was just awesome because I could see that we had downloads, but nobody was giving me actual feedback or saying they were listening to the show. And so I'm like, are people actually listening, or I don't know, just people downloading it and not listening? So that was a cool moment when people actually gave me feedback and said, this is helping me. Thank you for saying this, and those different things.
I can imagine that that was a really big positive moment. So, we talked a little bit about why you make the show and who you make the show for, but describe the listener in your own words and what you hope they get out of the show by listening or watching.
I hope that parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles just feel better in their relationship with the kid that has autism or ADHD or neurodivergent, and that they feel successful in their relationship, especially parents, it's so easy for parents to be like, I'm not a good parent. I'm not raising my kid the right way. I'm, doing this and this, and that's not good. And I just want parents to have a connected relationship with their child and feel successful as parents and in that relationship.
Me too. All right, very good. This is where I would love for you to share how people can specifically find the show. So if somebody's watching this or listening or they get a snippet of this, where on YouTube can they find it? And what's the easiest way to become a subscriber and a listener to Every Brain is Different?
I would just go to everybrainisdifferent.com. We have a podcast page there, and that has the different players of where you can, like the different streaming services that you can get the podcast from, and our links to social media, our links to YouTube, and just go to everybrainisdifferent.com and you can find all the information.
Thank you very much, Samantha Foote from Every Brain is Different, for being on Creator Showcase and sharing the story of your show. The Creator Showcase is a copyrighted work created and produced by Amy Stone, and Amy Says So. The music was written and produced by Todd Thompson at Dharma Bomb Studios, and all rights are reserved. Anything expressed on the show is offered as entertainment, and the views of the guests may not always represent the ideas and viewpoints of the host, other guests, or anybody else involved. Amy Stone does not intend or hold herself, myself, out to provide professional advice or recommendations of any kind. In the end, you and you alone need to make any of those decisions based on your own personal and individual situation, needs, circumstances, and comfort level. Yeah, it's a little weird for me to speak about myself in the third person, but you get the idea.